Hello. I can see the audio thing moving.
I know, right? That's it should work now.
Hello,
Look at
test. Hello, friends.
it. Yes.
Oh
I think it's working.
Oh
Anyone?
boy.
yeah, it's working.
Oh, there we go, motherfucker.
Got us all?
I
Yes,
think so.
finally. I mean, that's the same thing I did like 10 minutes ago. Like, what happened? What's the difference? I need a beer, man. You guys introduce yourselves. I'm gonna go get a beer.
Off to you, Digi.
Yo guys, Grow Digi here. Kind of really excited for the show today. Been a miner since 2013. This is kind of like the mainstay of what I do in crypto, and it kind of be nice just to give you guys an insight today of what to look for, how to mine, how to use NiceHash, sort of things we're looking for in new coin, and kind of just give you an oversight into the mind of a miner, I guess, and hopefully convert a few of you guys over.
At
So
Crypto Juggalo, hopefully be able to share a little insight as well from the miner mindset. Coming at it from an extreme hobbyist standpoint, got into crypto through mining. Started with the ASIC game and continued to play that realm. So hopefully be able to share a little bit of insights learned along the way with that. Off to Android.
Hello, I'm Android. And Jugs, you forgot your essentially mined hard this time around. Now, I'm Android. I started mining in 2017 as a learning experience. Mostly people know me for technical analysis, but I do dabble into mining as well. It's mostly ASICs nowadays due to space constraints.
Certainly not noise.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
don't
so-
care about the noise.
Yeah. I've got a bottle of Smirnoff, so I'm good now. Yeah. So obviously my name's Godson. I've been mining since before I was even trading. Today's show we're gonna do three things, right? Well, four things actually. We're gonna start with GrowDG showing us how to use NiceHash and how to set up a NiceHash order. And then Crypto Juggalo is gonna show us how to use mining rig rentals and how to work with that. And then we're gonna answer some of the questions that were submitted to us on Twitter. And then we'll do like a live. If you guys have questions from like the live YouTube chat, we'll talk about that as well. So yeah, over to GrowDG. If you want to screen share and hide your email address, that'd be great.
Yeah, no problem, guys. Right, give me 2 secs. Let me get this up. Can you guys see okay?
Switching over.
I can't see shit.
Um,
Yeah, there we
it's on
go.
Android.
Yeah, so okay, fantastic. So yeah, I thought we'd just talk a little bit about NiceHash today. This is pretty
Wait a
much
sec. Godson is sharing my screen, not yours.
Okay,
There we
sorry.
go.
There we go, fantastic. So so a lot of guys are asking right now how to get into mining. Is it worth buying the equipment, etc., etc. What I usually say to people is, if you're interested in mining, the best way to probably get started is to try on NiceHash or mining rig rentals, rent some hash power in the beginning, kind of see how the whole process works and get a little bit used to it rather than making a big capital investment on hardware that you might not know how to run and can take you a bit of time to get working properly. So I thought we'd maybe spend a little bit of time on NiceHash just kind of showing you guys what the procedure is top to bottom and kind of get you guys ready to go. So first thing you need to do is just get some money over. All you need to do is just go to your wallet. You'll have your BTC address. And then all you'll do is just kind of go on the marketplace, and this is going to give you a big list of all the algorithms. Really new to mining, each coin will have its own unique algorithm out of a parent algorithm where mostly coins are kind of shared around. So you can see Script, the number one coin on Script, or the most well known, is the Litecoin. to get a lot of clones on the same algorithm over time, so you do get a lot of script coins. And then just going down the list, you can see like the variety of algorithms that are available. So once you've found your algorithm that you want to mine with, then all you'll do is just click on it. So let's say we're having a lot of NeoScript coins right now. So let's go for NeoScript. And then once you've got that, you're going to choose what type of order you want. So the beauty of NiceHash is you can do a standard order, which is basically like you're bidding against the marketplace for the best price. And then you can do a fixed order, which is basically you agree to pay a fixed price for your rental, and you're going to get that constant hash power throughout that time that you're renting. 1 second, sorry. Why is it always someone comes to your door when you're in the middle of something, right? I'm told him to wait, so you can wait outside. Right, so let's give an example of a standard order. So all you would do is you click on your standard. Now, standard is basically just bidding against each other for the best price. So obviously this method tends to rely on a bit more work to kind of make sure that you're still getting your hash power, but paying the best price for it. So as you can see, there's quite a big discrepancy in the amount that people are paying from top to bottom. And, you know, you can kind of see the hash power that's going alongside with it. So the basic premise being, you have a set price that they'll give you for the cheapest amount on a standard order. And scroll down, that's 0.1586 BTC per terahash, or sorry, per gigahash of NeoScript power rented. So if we have a look down there, we can see, yes, there is power coming down, being fed through to people who've got orders at that price. What I usually like to do is, because I know people will bid this up over time, I will try and put it at a medium price in between. So we can see the highest price here is 0.33, 0.1586. So just kind of a rough guess. Maybe 0.25 would be a nice median for you to put your order. And that would guarantee you the hash power for the time you want and the amount you put in. So once you decide on your price and your budget, then you're going to decide how much power you want to rent, and you can just change here. And then you're going to put in how much BTC you want to spend. When you're just starting off with this, I would recommend that you just really start with really, really low amounts, just in case A, you mess up the order, and B, just so you can get a gauge on what you're doing rather than spending, you know, large amounts until you feel comfortable. So let's say we put in an order for 0.01 BTC. We want to rent at the price we said, which was 0.25 per gigahash per day. The logic would be, if I want to rent 1 gigahash at this price, it's going to cost me 0.25 to rent it for a day. So you can see now that's worked it out at the bottom. It kind of gives you a duration of how long it's going to be. Just bear in mind, NiceHash do charge a fee of around about 3%. So I usually just bump this up. If I want a day, I'll work out an extra 40 or something like this and just add it on. So then that way I know I get the guaranteed full day. So once you know your price that you want, the amount you want, and your budget to mine, then all you'll do is add your pool, and this is really easy now. This is really interesting because when Juggalo shows you mining rig rentals in a short while, they have a slightly different procedure. So just bear this in mind. It's not a once kind of fit all process. Each rental site will have its own little unique thing. And again, you'll learn things over time that we can show. So we're just going to add a new pool. All we do is add the pool name. We can say, anyone give me an example of a NeoScript coin out right now? Someone want to throw one out in the troll box or something?
There's a new one right now, I think.
There is, but I don't want to bring up the ante.
Give me a sec.
To get it.
Yeah, Lucky Bit is a new NeoScript one.
Okay, cool. So
that's like an hour old.
Okay, fantastic. Is anyone? Go on, I'll just Google it.
I don't have a wallet for that one though.
Oh god. Right. All right. 1 second.
Are you trying to do it off screen or something?
Yeah, it's just really difficult to kind of bring something up without showing your personal information. So give me 2 seconds, guys. I'm just going to find it on another tab and I'll come back. Where are we? What was the one called, sorry? Lucky Coin.
Lucky Bits.
Lucky Bits. It actually sounds like a good name, to be honest. Right, where are we? Lucky Bits. Bitcoin Talk. Another good example I can give, when a new coin comes out like this, we were just talking about it before we come on air, it's always worthwhile having a little bit of money on NiceHash. There's nothing worse than when you find a new coin that's on launch, you've seen it on launch within minutes of it coming out, access to it because you don't have any money on there and you're waiting, half an hour for the money to come over. So here we go. Here's our AN. All we're going to look for now is the pools on the AN. Again, this is a really good example to give you guys as well. When you're looking for the most relevant pool or the pool you want to be on, ideally you want to be on the one with the most hash. If you can make it the one with the most hash, even better, because then you're basically the big dog on the pool. So all we're going to do is find a pool. We'll get the details. Hash for life. So there we go. Where are we? So usually when you see it on the AN will then give you the breakdown of what to put in for your bat file. Now this is a traditional bat file for a miner, but this doesn't work like this on NiceHash, and let me show you why. It just breaks it down into smaller pieces. Oh, we haven't got the wallet address.
Yeah,
oh well, we can work around it. So the first thing you're going to do is it's going to ask for your Stratum or IP address. This is usually this part here after the Stratum plus TCP and this bit here. So it's usually just this. You can cut out this bit for now. I'll show you why. So all you're looking for is just basically this bit here. Once you ping that in, then you're ready to go. You're going to add the port, which basically says to the NiceHash how to connect and which kind of port to connect to on the pool. So once you've added that in, and again, you will always get this. It will have a semicolon and it will always be 4 or 5 digits. So just bear that in mind. So these two always need to be separate on NiceHash. And there's no colon here. Your username will often be depending on the type of pool. So there's 2 types of pools that are available right now to miners. There's one called a YIMP pool, which is hash for life, and it's got a layout like this. So this is a typical YIMP pool. It'll show you what algorithms are mining, what coins. So we're going to click on NeoScript. Oh, it doesn't actually show it on there yet. That new is not even showing on the pool yet. So you can see again the pool here. It shows you the details of what to put in for your miner. So what we're going to do now is just basically complete our settings. So on a YIMP pool, your username is always your wallet address. So you'll always need a wallet when you're mining through a YIMP pool. It's kind of a struggle that we come across sometimes. You can see previous coins I've mined in here. All you would do is once you've got your new coin's wallet address and you're up and running, you'll ping it in here to bring up the details, but I'll show you that in a second. So your wallet address will go in here. If you're using an MPOS pool, and I'll show you an example of an MPOS pool, the coin away, but we already shelled it on Shitcoin Talks. MPOS pools are quite few and far between now as well.
For example, here, Achilles.
Yeah, Achilles.
Yeah,
so,
right.
So yeah, make sure you guys are mining Achilles after the show. Where are we? Achilles Bitcoin Talk. So MPOS pools are basically like the old school pool we used to have in 2014. The only difference being is that they're a lot more user friendly and we're used to it. It's old school. They manage your coins, and the downside of that can be is that then you're responsible for withdrawing your coin from the site. So, due to laziness, due to kind of forgetting, anything can happen, and unfortunately you can lose your coins. So I actually like the YIMP pools because you get your coins paid to you on an hourly basis.
I like the MPOS pool as well.
Yeah, the MPOS pools are for the old school guys because we can basically jump on without having a wallet. We don't have to go through the whole headache of scanning the wallet for viruses, etc., etc. And now I've mentioned that, I think we shall note that down. It's something we'll talk about later in the show. Right, I can't even find the pool.
A digital transcendence duration agreement condition. That's a new one.
Right, there we go. I can't believe I can't find it. I was the first guy on this. Right, where are we? There we go. There we go, guys. So this is the pool I'm using right now for Achilles. So the difference in these pools is just based on, and this one will have a login. So all you'll need to do is just log in. You can see your details. Slightly different. I find this a bit more user-friendly. With these type of pool, what you'll need to do is configure a worker. So as we were on here before, the user, if you're using a YIMP pool, which is this style, you'll need a wallet address for your username. If you're using an MPOS pool, which is basically this style, you know, dashboard, my workers, etc., you'll need a username. So all you'll do is your username will be the worker, the username you logged in with, and it'll be a dot, and then whatever you put here. So I'll give an example. We've got 2, and then we'll create the password as X just for ease. There we go. So our username now, if we were using the MPOS pool, would be GrowDigi2. And the password will be an X. Coming back to the YIMP pool, sorry, I didn't even mention this. It's so bad. The YIMP pool, the password would be, and this is always unique to each YIMP coin, is it will be a C, the prefix of the coin. So if it's Achilles, it will be ACH. And you always want to add the difficulty in here as well, because you're using NiceHash. You're going to be putting a lot of power on a coin. So you've always got to be considerate that you're going to be one of the strongest people out there. You just got to make sure that the power you're giving to the pool is given, you know, is kind of the difficulty matches up. So we will just put a difficulty setting in here. Maybe I'll kind of put something down as a guide and put it on the tweet just so we can have a better reference. And then we're good to go. So I'm actually going to use this Achilles pool now. I just noticed I've not got any workers on it. So it's my bad for being lazy the last few days.
Don't rape it. Let's just go over that real quick. No, like,
right. So you guys,
the global hash rate on Achilles right now is 80 gigahash. So if you rent a one NiceHash order, you are essentially 12 or 13% off the global net hash, right? So you will be getting like 10% of all the rewards.
So let him hash, man. Jesus.
Fuck you.
Right. So we'll give you an example of a live order here, guys. So I want to mine this. I want to be 10% of the network, which is the minimum you can be. It was 2.11, so I'm going to go for that price. I like that price. I'm happy with it. I'm not going to be tight. I want to mine this for a day, so let's see what we come up with. It's going to be 2.1, 2.2, or 2.13 for a day. So there we go. We're ready to roll now. Fingers crossed this should just go through first time, and we'll be up and mining, and we'll show you a live example of kind of the hash coming through. There we go. So if you usually give it a couple of minutes, it just takes a while for your workers to connect and stuff. How you can usually check straight away is your details here, and you should just see this come up over time. So it's really, really, really important, and you know, it does get frustrating at times, guys. Don't feel bad if this doesn't work the first time around. We all go through it. It still happens to us again and again. So, you know, it does take a little time to perfect this whole process, but that's what we're here for. So it's showing a dead right now. So let's have a quick look why. Right, disconnected, authorization failed. So for some reason, I've not put in the right settings. So let's just double check.
You've got the wrong username, man.
I've got the wrong port on, haven't I? So
no, username, man. You've got the username is GrowDigi1, and it should be .1.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
See, there you go. I'm learning new things every day. So let's do another one, and let's just make it work this time around. There is a way you can change it, but it's just long, so I'm just going to do another one for you guys.
Can you change it through the pool side? Sometimes they'll automatically pick up too if you don't explicitly add that worker.
Okay. Right, let's just try it quickly again.
The problem is, did you put in the wrong website username, not the worker username?
Oh, gotcha.
Is that right?
No, it's GrowDigi1.1.
Oh, okay, my bad. Yeah, sorry. You know what? that was a really good spot because these are, again, the small things. I've got 2 accounts registered on that pool. And the first one I forgot, and the second one's the GrowDigi one. So yeah, thanks for pointing that out, Ambroid. Again, this is just little things that you come across as a miner that can get you so frustrated. Sometimes it is just about perseverance and just kind of checking things again and again and just kind of going over it. So there we go. Let's get this working. It should work first time around now. My poor guest is still waiting outside. Let's get this done and then I'll let him. Right, let me cancel this one. That one's not going to work. Hopefully these should just show now. Right, so as we can see, nothing's connected yet. So if we just give it a few seconds, it should just ping itself through and get up and running. Yeah, there we go. Oh, dead. Why? It's probably just because it's got no speed coming through. I'm just going to bump up the price a little bit, and we'll get it working. We should be good to go in a second. So yeah, this is a good example of kind of just doing a NiceHash order. In FOMO, this can get really stressful. Just so you know, guys. So just get used to it before you do. If you know what I mean, do it on a few coins that are already out, established. Again, we talked about using really small amounts. Experienced on this, you will really find the power of using this on a new coin at launch and the rewards it will give you. So here we go. Looks like we're working. Anything coming through? So we've not got any speed yet. If it doesn't work in a few seconds, I'll just bump it up again. 2.15 should be decent. People are getting speed here, so we should be all right.
All right, that's all right.
Yeah. So yeah. There we go. Yeah, it's worked. So yeah, there you go, guys. That's a good example of using NiceHash for a small rental play. Don't have to spend any money on buying mining equipment, getting it all set up, having the facilities, the knowledge. You're pretty much good to go mining within a 5-minute period, and let's go.
Cool.
Awesome
let's
demo.
Let's switch over to Juggalos, and he can show us how to use mining rig rentals.
Let's see. Am I on mining rig rentals?
Yes, you are.
Awesome. So GrowDigi did an awesome job going through pretty much the whole rental process there, and gonna be tough to follow that one up. There's a lot of it's very, very similar with mining rig rentals in general. One of the kind of key differences is how you actually go through and place your orders and what you're buying into. So let's just pick random SHA-256 coin. Kind of what you'll see on this side is essentially a list of everyone going through offering their equipment to rent and the prices that they set up. A few of the things that I really, really like to use mining rig rental for is sniping some of the cheapest rentals out there. There's a lot of different filters, things like that to play around with. So let's go through, sort it. So here's the cheapest of what's available to rent right now. So you got a big spread from 6,000 Satoshis up to about 9,500 for just the first page. All the way up, 10K, so on. Just keeps going further and further. So one of the things I like to do is go through and show the rented and resort to see what's currently rented that might be coming available soon to try and get cheaper. Here, there's quite a few. A lot of it depends on sizing and your network, things along those lines, which is one of the other filters that I really, really like to use with this. Kind of going back to Digi's comment on the biggest pool, I kind of like to approach things a little differently. Like if it depends on the coin and the size of the network. The network size come into play a lot with what I'm looking to mine at times, and where I'll mine. Like if there's, well, let's go back to filters first. So say we've got not necessarily a newer coin, but something that launched maybe a week ago that everybody already forgot about, things like that. You might have, say, 10 terahash SHA-256 network. So, we wouldn't want to go through and throw, say, 100 terahash at that network. That would be a waste of hash rate. So with some of the filters, we could go through to say if I want to be 10% of that network, go through and set it up anywhere from 0 to 1 terahash, for example. And we could go through, knock out any rentals that fall out of that category and get the ideal sizing or target sizing for what I'm after as quick as I can. You see a lot of them all rented here, or sorry, all available. And kind of the same. So say we pick one. It's kind of same process as we had with NiceHash, where here you're just going to go through, specify how many hours you want to rent, say 5, and it'll dial out how much BTC. And I'm not going to log in here, but essentially the same process with NiceHash when you go through after specifying how many hours you want to rent. You'll go through and specify your stratum, users, things along those lines. Whereas, unlike NiceHash here, you'll go through and actually have the stratum and the port together on the same. And that's kind of the run through on mining rig run itself. One of the mention on going back to the differences with the pools with YIMP and MPOS. I actually very, very much prefer MPOS because kind of eliminates that security aspect on your own equipment and having to go through, run wallets, download things out the gate. Very, very, very questionable realm. I'd be very cautious in what you're running on your machines. So I like to take that angle out of the play on my end. But yeah, I think that's all I got on those guys right now.
So let's just touch upon new coins and the security of downloading a fresh wallet.
Yes.
What you want to do is when a new coins come out, and usually there are only YIMP pools out because it's the fastest and easiest pool to set up. So what you will have to do is you have to download the wallet and set it up. But you want to do it in an isolated environment, and by that I mean you need to create a virtual machine on which only the wallet is the new program, and it's isolated from the rest of your shit. So if the wallet contains a virus, you are not infected. So for that, you've got two options. You've either want to rent a VPS that you've got ready to go anytime, or if your personal computer is strong enough, you want a program such as Oracle's VirtualBox, where you've got a VM set up ready to go. You just turn it on, switch to it, download the wallet, get an address, and off you go. You're ready to mine in a couple of minutes.
And to touch on Bitcoin Bella's question, actually, so the question was, so these are random people's rigs, they're hosting, you supply the hash power. Yeah, so this, you can essentially, if you have your own hardware, you could rent it out on these services, and that's essentially, on the other end, what we're doing is just renting out other people's hardware at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I think the logic behind the people who rent it out to these services tend to be that NiceHash is usually the most profitable paying thing on the day. So it's maybe a good thing to touch on as well. So what people tend to do is they tend to mine them or look for the most profitable coin to mine. And I use mining sites like What to Mine and stuff as a guide for it. And usually NiceHash is one of the most profitable or the most profitable on those sites. So people just, for ease of use, they'll just rent it out to that and get paid the most that they can per day. As spec miners, we tend to take the opposite view. We don't really care what the most profitable thing is on the day. We want to kind of maybe take like a month or 2 month or 3 month approach to the coin and say, we know this is how much it costs to mine right now. This is what the most profitable coin will give us. We can work out our break even of the coin based on that. And we can say, right, okay, this is what our projected return wants to be. And we're happy to wait onto it. And rather than getting paid, I don't know, 0.01 BTC a day over a month, that would be 0.3 BTC for kind of just pure profitability mining. If you were to kind of mine a spec coin for the same period of time and then sell it a month later, you could potentially pull out, I don't know, 10 times that. And it's a lot bigger reward, but then people don't really have the patience for that. Some people want the money straight away. So there's two different ways of looking at it. Both angles are very profitable. You'll still make money, but just different ways of doing it, I guess.
Yeah, I think a lot of it comes down to how patient you are.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I think a lot of it comes down to how patient you are with that in general. And I mean, in particular, I try to mine to BTC as little as humanly possible. But one of the challenges, so I dabble a lot in the ASIC realm, and one of the challenges there is that profitability slides incredibly fast. And kind of touching back on the baseline side of things that Digi mentioned, what I've started doing and seems to be working out well is like, instead of renting out hardware at, say, NiceHash or Mining Rig Rentals, I like to use multi-pools like Zpool, which has profit switching, fractional hash rate splitting, auto-exchanging ports. And I'll mine there for, say, 1 to 2 weeks to go through and just understand, for this piece of hardware, how much BTC daily am I going to get? Yeah. And that's the only reason that I want to mine Bitcoin direct ever. Well, not necessarily direct, but auto-exchange to it. From there, you could go through and use those stats for your spec mining, where you go through and say, if I want to mine Pink Doggy Coin, I know how much is coming in daily, and I could use that baseline from the BTC daily earnings to go through and calculate what that Pink Doggy Coin actually cost me. So I can kind of set up some of my targets on where I want to sell, things like that, for the kind of longer term holdable.
Yeah.
All right. So for me, break-evens work more like, I don't really care how much it would make. I just want to cover the electricity. So I just work out how much per day the machine costs me to run in the data center or whatever, and that's my break-even right there.
That's a good point. I mean, one thing I'll touch on as an experienced miner, I don't care about ROI on my machine. The machine is going to pay itself off in time. I know that. One thing you'll find with a lot of new miners, they're really anxious to get this ROI back because they've made a significant capital investment on the machine. They're looking at price every day. This is not how the way you should be doing this, guys. Be patient. It's like, it's like, look at Bitcoin. No one made money from mining Bitcoin in 2011, 2012, 2013. They were mining at a loss. The machines were not paying themselves off. The guys who sold their coins daily to pay the electric, they'll be kicking themselves right now, and it's the same with a lot of these other coins. Your machine will pay itself back. There's no reason for you to sell your coins daily to cover your electric and cover your ROI and think, right, once it's paid for in 6 to 9 months' time, be in mind what I want. If you have that mindset from the beginning to just kind of say, right, I've made this investment, I know it's going to pay me, but I've just got to be patient and wait for it, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that sentiment. That's probably one of the biggest learning lessons I had starting out in the ASIC game, and was kind of dead set on, I need to recover the funds with it. And then you kind of realize, well, what's it matter if I'm trying to hold for the long term anyways? And it's definitely something I wouldn't focus too heavily on, especially because in the spec mining realm, you never know what could happen. You could mine something that turns into a complete pile of shit and like never hits an exchange, or developer dies on you, whatever. But then you can also have scenarios where you say accidentally insta-mine the network, and an hour of mining ROIs your hardware like 10 to 100 times over. So there's just a lot of stuff you really can't account for, and I wouldn't stress too much on, because there's a lot of uncertainty in the space, especially with the spec mining.
All right. I mean, that's pretty much like a lot of useful information there. I don't know if you guys wanted to touch up on like the questions from the Twitter sphere. Is that cool? Is that cool?
Worst losses and average returns from spec mining rentals. I mean, I'm pretty much I don't know if we talked about this on any shows, but there's certain plays that I tend to have with like a fixed risk. So it's a fixed bag. Whatever I've spent on it, I'm willing to lose it. So I mean, in terms of worst losses, I guess it would just be based on that, really. If your coin pretty much dies, like Juggalo said, the developer dies, etc., you kind of prepared for it, and it's not the worst case scenario. So that's a good point. Maybe if you're going to be starting off in spec mining, maybe take a similar approach to how you get into trading. So you'll have a set portfolio amount, and maybe just try a 1% fixed risk from the beginning on these spec mining plays. Might not seem like a lot, but as Juggalo touched on, some of these things can 100x very easily. So you can turn that 1% into the equivalent of your portfolio just based on one play. So
word losses is definitely downloading an infected wallet and having your whole fucking portfolio hacked away. So that's like the worst case scenario, and it did happen this year to Nick. So it does fucking happen, right? So be careful with this shit.
Yeah. Very good point. I mean, maybe just good practice would be is have a separate computer even for your shit coin wallets. I mean, the brand new stuff that's a real shit. Don't keep anything else on there apart from that. You can get yourself like a NOC for a couple of $100. It's well worth it just for the peace of mind, to be honest.
Yeah. The average returns. This
that's good investment.
You don't even know half the time.
It's the truth. I mean, it's a very good point. I mean, the beauty of mining is because sometimes it gets so overwhelming and you've got so many things, you don't even know what it cost you and how much you've made off it. But it's just like, well, fuck it. I know I've made good money off this, and I'm going to keep doing it.
Yeah. Views on OTC versus mining. So that's a good question as well.
That's a very good point. Crunchy
guys, like. No one's seeing these questions, so like it'll be kind of cool.
The question.
If I read out the question from like Twitter.
Okay, sorry.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No. It's all right. It's all right. I mean, obviously we're gonna have to like go over some questions over again. So, first one is from someone called T1000. The question is about. By the way, you can switch to my profile and see the screen. Mining setup, investment versus investment into coins for longer term hold. I think this guy is kind of asking like, is it better to just buy a bag and hold as opposed to just sort of investing in mining and maybe just like running rigs or like just buying a bag and holding it, and then like maybe if it's like a staking coin or something. So like, what would you guys say is a better strategy?
That's a very, very broad question, right? Because it's different in the sense that when you invest into mining equipment, it gives you a a fixed amount of money you've put in, and it's going to be fiat money usually if you buy a GPU rig, but it's going to be usually crypto if you buy an ASIC from the manufacturer, right? So it's a different scenario where you buy your bag with crypto, but you buy your GPU rig with your fiat. And there's another huge point is you are flexible in what you mine with the rig, but if you buy a coin with the mindset that you want to hold it for months, then you're stuck with the investment. Whereas if you don't like what you're mining, you can just switch to something else in a matter of minutes.
Very, very good point.
Yeah, I mean, from my perspective, it's not really even a question. I mean, if you buy a bag and hold it, like, you're stuck to that one bag, right? It's not like you can just, like, you use it to get other bags. Whereas if you invest in a mining rig, you can mine different coins. And I mean, it's not even a question. Like, mining setup is way better investment, like 100 times more useful than just buying like a bag and like holding it.
Well, I think it's a little bit more broad in the sense. I mean, I've thought on this early on when I started mining, and it's one of those. Is this, say, 0.25 going into an amp miner? Is it going to be best spent there or trading with that 0.25? And I think a lot of it just comes down to your edge in general. And I'm a shit trader, but I got mining on lock, so I'm going to err towards the mining side because, it caters to my edge. Whereas if you're TA Wiz, whatever, and got the trading side on lock and can make better use of that than you would with a miner. Like if you're going to buy it deploying it at Bitcoin Direct, for example, or something silly that you wouldn't necessarily make the most out of that hardware with, you may want to err on the side of the latter there. I think that's kind of what it's drilling down to with some of it, catering to your edge in particular.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So what I would to a complete newbie when people ask me whether they should buy mining equipment or buy coins to hold, I just tell them that it's easier for them to, let's say, buy 10 coins and hold those for half a year or something, in comparison to buying a single ASIC and worry about it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely
in that
maintenance
sense, yeah.
on those lines to consider.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's not even a question. It's always better to invest in a mining rig. I mean, it's like someone asking you, like, should I buy, a ticket and ride like Uber on different cars, or should I? Anyways, it doesn't matter. Next question from Giovanni Piccolo. Is there any point in mining anything these days with a laptop, or will it just destroy it and whatever? Like, can you still mine and make money with laptops, or do you have to like drop $1,000 on rigs?
Yes, you can, in very specific situations.
Yep. I was just going to say, I mean, I wouldn't recommend it if it's a nice MacBook or a nice laptop. You don't want to wreck it, right? The other option you've got, if you want to get a cheap base from somewhere, CPU mine, you can do. It'll cost you a couple of $100. You can buy something secondhand, put a decent CPU in there, and it can be very, very profitable if you can get onto the right coin. So yeah, you can start off with, a laptop costs $400-500. So whatever you're going to use your laptop is for your work, right? Don't use it for mining. If you want to mine CPU, you're better off having. Most people have got a desktop anyway, so use that if you want to use something for mining.
So just for comparison, when Zcash came out, I put like every single fucking CPU and shit I had on it, like everything I had at home I put in. That was like 3 notebooks and a desktop, and it made me like $100 in first weekend. So it's definitely worth it to mine on a notebook or something in very specific situations. usually when a very fresh CPU coin comes out and there's not much hash rate on it, there are not many server or botnet miners on it just yet. It could make you a couple of coins, but it's a very specific situation.
Yeah, and kind of more general point with that, the making sure you're looking at coins that are, say, CPU only algorithms is a big thing there. Like you wouldn't want to throw a laptop on, say, Bitcoin. That'd be absolute waste in my opinion. Like, so some of it does come down to careful selection where it could be profitable in the case of such CPU only coins, or very, very, very early on before, say, GPU algorithms hit, things like that. So it kind of comes down to careful selection for sure. And NiceHash, and how much is your little slice of the network going to be?
For example, I bet that if you were to mine Bismuth since it came out until a GPU miner came out on a laptop, then that would ROI your notebook that you would have never expected to ROI. That's a guess right there. The next question?
Yeah, next question. Insight and resources for determining a good spec mining play for your GPU rigs.
So for GPU rigs only,
I suppose so. I mean,
one thing that
it'll work too.
they didn't
If you're like, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, so I'm pretty much like about 70% GPU mining right now, so I'm quite GPU heavy. And what I tend to look for is for coins that no one else is on. So what you'll find with GPU mining is, because everyone has access to NiceHash, when a coin comes out, a guy can just rent for a couple of days and have a lot more power than you. So in terms of fighting on new coins, I tend to go on the basis of everyone's going to fight for it at the beginning on the first few days. Let it cool down, keep an eye on it, and then after that hype dials down on everyone renting from NiceHash, the guy on NiceHash is only going to rent for 2 or 3 days. He can't afford to keep going. He hasn't got that confidence in the coin. He's not a miner, etc., etc. That's his play. So for the GPU guys who've got the rigs, you want to be kind of sliding in after about 3 days, 2-3 days, once it's quieting down, or just you can keep an eye on the network and just have a hash is kind of around. And then once it comes down to a level you're happy with, just jump on it and kind of stay on there. What you'll find is these coins usually take 2 to 4 weeks to mature to exchange phase anyway. Another 3 months for the developer to do anything. So you've got plenty of time. If you need to sit on it for a couple of weeks after launch, fine. Just missing the first few days won't kill you. There's always something else to mine. Insight and resources. So Bitcoin Talk is probably your hub. Everything goes through there. So pretty much you just want to make sure you get the notifications for all new coins coming out. Yeah, I guess that's about it, really.
Kind of to reiterate on one of the points there you made, Digi, on the kind of NiceHash renters right out of the gate. That's probably one of the biggest things that I'd like to kind of just reinforce is be patient with it. I mean, you're going to have out the gate, some of these new launches might get a lot of hype. The thing you got to remember is some of these POW launches, they might run months, years, things like that. Let that first week, let the NiceHash, the guys that are going to insta-mine it, diff jacket, whatever, they're going to throw silly amounts at it. Let them have their fun and then swoop in after. And that's a lot of the times where you could really clean up just writing things out after everyone's forgotten about them, but there's still a network to be carried and things like that.
It's a very good point. So one of the things I learned from you is sometimes just look at coins with a very low network where you can put one machine on it and you'll be like 10, 20% of the network, even more sometimes. I mean, I'll give an example now. There's a script coin I'm mining and the network's like 2 gigahash, 3 gigahash, and I'm like half of it quite easily. So to carry a network like that doesn't cost much, and you can stay on there for a month. So
Yeah, absolutely.
well, that that's.
I mean, there's been scenarios with SHA-256 where, I mean, 2 weeks in, people forgot about it, or there was a lot of FUD, and network dropped down to, say, 10 terahash incredibly quickly, and there's been able to carry for months on end with a single like Antminer S3, which several years old, outdated equipment that you wouldn't even want to bother with for larger coins, but they still serve a purpose for some of these kind of seemingly dead networks.
Cool. We have like Katoshi just asking a bunch of like really really good questions. So I don't know if I should like read all of them, or just like if you guys can take it one by one. I mean, the first one is how to use NiceHash properly. Obviously, GrowDG covered that one. But the second question is actually quite interesting. He asks, like, after spotting a coin, how do you get the best ROI on NiceHash for it? And again, what is like your basis for spotting a coin? Like he talks about besides my market cap, use case, pre-mine and stuff. What is your basis for spotting a coin that's good, like to mine?
I'll take this one then. So the first question, how to get the best ROI on NiceHash. I guess it's kind of being on something when no one else is, and when everyone else is fighting, like with any part in crypto, if you're trading and everyone else is shilling the coin, buying it, is pumping, do you really want to be fighting against everyone in that tide? So it's very similar to mining. You want to get the best ROI from your NiceHash, just look for coins that no one else is on, really, in that sense. Or if it's really early on, or once that hype has died down. Coming back to what we talked about when I went through the example of the prices and how long renting for and stuff, you can just use that as a guide as well. So what I will do is similar to what I do in my trading. When I want to buy a coin, I will scale. When I want to buy a coin, I will scale in. So I will kind of buy at 5 different prices and just let the orders hit. I do a very similar strategy with NiceHash as well. So I will have a few different prices split across the spectrum, and just hopefully all of those orders will get filled. Even if they don't, even if I've got 2 out of 5 orders filled, I know I'm still getting something in that sense. I'm getting it at a good price. Obviously, if all 5 orders get filled, then it means I'm getting at the best price that I want. So maybe that's a strategy that people can try employing. Very similar to mining rig rentals as well. So if you want to maybe, let's say, rent 1 gigahash of script, which will be 2 L3s, you could mine 2 different machines. You could rent 2 different machines at 2 different prices, or maybe take one immediately at a good price. And like Juggalo touched on before, keep an eye on the ones that are ending soon that may be cheaper, and just kind of snap that one up when it becomes available.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead, Digi.
Sorry, I was just going to say, touching on his last point, it's really hard because I think with any job, it just comes with experience. You kind of know what works and what doesn't. I mean, the easiest one in crypto that always works, if the coin has a unique feature, different from anything else, always go for that as your priority. So something like Achilles is a prime example. Coin that's got a brand new unique feature, never been done before, and pretty much I think for that reason alone you will see that coin. The only reason I say that is because you don't have a barometer of what's happened before, so there's no limit as to where these things can go, and I've seen it time and time again. So that's definitely, I'd say one thing.
Similarly, when you see a new algorithm.
Yes, that's a really good example. New algo, boom, go for it. It's should be top of your list.
Okay.
Yeah, the thing I was going to touch on best ROI, I personally feel that you're going to get it mining over time, and especially keep the stress off. You don't have to worry about managing a whole bunch of rental orders, trying to kind of trying to say instant mine, diff check network, whatever. And one of the things Digi touched on with mining rig rentals is leveraging off those currently rented rigs and going through, say, setting alerts or timing things out so that when the next cheapest order opens up, you can go through and jump on that. Another one on spotting mining opportunities. One of my favorites that I like to look for is long-term POW for this kind of sleeper play that we've touched on a little bit, where you can kind of let everyone have their fun early on and then make a note to revisit it maybe a few days, weeks down the line and see kind of what developments unfolded, how the network's looking, things like that, to kind of catch opportunities where you could swoop in under the radar after crypto Twitter is long forgotten on what's going on with it.
Yeah, so mentally, mining should be like comfy. You shouldn't really jump from thing to thing. It's similar to trading in that sense, where the longer term holds have more reward to your risk. So don't be afraid to mine one coin weeks on end. It's nothing strange for you.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I've had stuff I've mined for years.
Yeah, I'm trying not to like talk over you guys because obviously you're like the pros here, so I'm just trying not to talk over you guys. The next question: ROI estimate for new coins that you mine.
I don't even think about that.
Okay.
How
long?
Yeah, go ahead.
How long do you expect to hold a coin before you can actually make money on it? I think that's the question. Like this is about, and he also asks how do you? Yeah, go ahead.
There's two ways to go about it. It's either that you mine absolute shit coins that you don't know if they will ever hit an exchange, so your expectation is zero. Okay. And the second type of mindset is that you pick a project that looks solid. Say recently it's been Denarius or Bismuth, or maybe Raven or some other GPU algo, or any algo really, and you just start mining it and you sit on it for weeks on end, and you know that your money will return in one sense or another. But the ROI is probably going to be lower because more people are on it. But these absolute shitcoins, you can get like hundreds of X without any issues. But the downside is you might not see a return ever.
Yeah, I think it's.
Sorry.
I was going to follow up on that. I think as one of you guys mentioned earlier on, I think some of it comes down to the risk management side of things. And I mean, there's, especially if you're looking at new launches and some of the highly speculative plays in that sense, it's really, really, really tough to gauge ROI in scenarios like that for some of the points you guys just made on things. May not even make an exchange, things like that. And that's where I think it's really helpful to say, treat it like you're trading. Say, I'm going to put 1% of the portfolio to this mining play or whatever's appropriate for your style of risk management, and essentially write it off as kind of moon or doom if that's how you want to treat it.
What's going to happen to you eventually is, say, after half a year of mining, speculatively, you will just have a couple of these small bags that you're looking at, and why the fuck did I even mine this? And it's just going to be sitting there in your wallet, and you forget about it, and then a year later, it suddenly has this massive pump, and you just turn on the wallet and try to sync it and desperate to sell all your fucking shit, right? So this is a scenario you have to be ready for as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Do you guys have any sort of setups for cooling down your rigs? The same guy asked that question as well.
No,
Air conditioning and
not
open
really.
windows.
Okay.
I'm mining in
actually
a data
approach it from the
center,
opposite
so I
end.
don't have to care.
Can you what?
Jugs,
Go ahead, Broyd.
Okay, so I'm mining in a data center, so I don't have to care.
Oh, are you stealing Hash Boy?
No, I've got a place rented.
Okay.
It's a good thing to touch on because one thing you'll find is people get really excited when they start mining, especially from home. One rig soon turns into a couple, and they find that it's really difficult to manage it. So if you are going to start mining, just kind of scale up over time. Inevitably, the home miner will get to some point where he wants to scale up, and he'll have to find an adequate unit. Again, just be conscious of it. Just find something big enough first time around where you can grow into it, if you know what I mean. So that it wouldn't be an issue. You don't always have to cram as much hardware into the smallest place possible for the cheapest price. It's kind of a fine balance between getting it all running, having it running all 24/7.
Yeah, I find that one GPU rig in a room heats it up by about 2 degrees.
Yeah,
like 20 square meters or something room. The 20 square meters room is heated up by about 2 degrees by a GPU rig. So that's like your baseline, maybe.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right.
Yeah, and I think something else to touch on that. I mean, you may not always be able to bring in interesting, unique cooling options. So you might have to approach it from a different angle. For example, one of the primary reason I actually stick with Antminers and I'm kind of a little bit of a Bitmain fanboy is their tunability. So instead of trying to force these things at factory settings and tolerate the heat and noise that they put out, go through and tune extensively for noise with their fan speed settings that you can control, as well as altering their clock rates to underclock so that you could go through and essentially get noise and heat levels that cater to the environment you're trying to run these in. So it doesn't necessarily always have to be like a fancy cooling system. There are other options where on the rig side, you could go through and tune those in particular to accommodate your scenario itself.
Very good point, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, like with you, you're literally sitting next to an Antminer, and you can barely hear it in the background, but that's just because you tuned it down, and on the default settings, we couldn't hear you probably.
Well, I have had Antminers kick up at full bore throughout this, so nobody caught them. That's how quiet they could be.
We heard it. Yeah.
Crunchytail had a question on how much maintenance do your rigs require, and also do you keep consistently finding spec mining plays? As far as maintenance, it's going to depend on the setup. Some of them can be very hands-off. With the Antminers, I kind of keep a daily watch on, make sure things are running well, make sure I'm seeing cool side hash rates, making sure don't have any dead ASICs, things like that. Could be as simple as that. If you have kind of problematic rigs, you might be having to reboot them often, get them running well, or things along those lines. On consistently finding spec plays, I think that kind of comes down to your style. I like the long term, and so I may not go through a lot of new launches, but I'll stick with the ones that I do, and I'm kind of highly selective with some of those. Do any of you guys have thoughts on maintenance with GPU rigs?
Regarding maintenance, GPU rigs will be more maintenance intensive in general. However, with ASICs, it's like you will either have, well, most of your machines will be like you don't have to care about them, but there will be these little bitches that you have to restart every 3 days, and they want your attention, and it's gonna be like a single machine that's problematic, and that's the difference.
Yeah, the D3 X11 Antminer was notorious for that. For any of you running those, though, look for the Blizz firmware. That helps
Yes.
resolve those issues quite a bit.
Okay. Yeah, I mean we've gone through most of the questions on Twitter. Like the last few questions are all about like starting up mining with like cheap. Like can you guys talk about like going over like setups like cheaper setups that someone could start with, and like if it's possible to still start with like a laptop and that kind of thing.
Yeah, very much so. The person that I came across in a Telegram ages ago, and they just randomly asked about mining, just gave him some advice about kind of what cards to get, the equipment, etc. for a GPU rig. Advised him if you even start with one card, it's absolutely fine. Just keep at it. Within a couple of months, they're basically now at a full rig. So, that person's kind of started off from airdrops, built up to their first rig with one card, and now got a 6-card rig running for basically no outlay. So, you can start from nothing in this industry, and that's what I love about it. Even if it's just a couple of $100 put aside, it's not much relatively. And before you know it, if you've got a bit of patience and a bit of drive and determination, you can do really well. So one thing people get put off with mining is the capital cost. It doesn't actually take much, I mean, even if you just go on the NiceHash plays alone, you could be a full-time miner just based on that with a very, very small capital outlay. You'd only basically be spending money as and when rent. In terms of, setting up your own mining operation, don't be ashamed to start small and grow in time. The biggest GPU miners you'll see out there, they didn't start like that. And if they did, they're probably doing the wrong thing by spending too much money in the beginning. Get used to it. It's like with any industry, it's like you start any business, you grow into it, and you might have a lot of capital in the background, but you don't spend it all at once because you don't know what's around the corner. My last point I was going to touch on before we go is crypto. Every element of crypto is the same, and there's an underlying theme in it, which is the lack of patience what people have. Mining is no different. We will see now a lot of GPU rig owners who bought their stuff in November, December, January when ETH was pumping at its highest, to now only be sat here, a couple of months in, panicking, looking at their ROI, and then thinking, if I can sell my rig for what I paid for it, I'll be happy. So I think people should really keep an eye out on eBay and stuff right now as well for kind of people looking to dump their rigs who can't really take this or not really into mining.
Yeah, that should go like into some of the last questions we have from the YouTube chat. So someone asked like, well, the first question that I wanted you guys to talk about was like worst losses and average like returns on like your spec mining. But the other question someone asked was like, is it possible to pay for rigs using fiat on website like NiceHash, etc? I mean, obviously you can't do that, but that kind of goes into your last point there about like buying rigs on like eBay and stuff and Craigslist. But the other question that's really interesting is like what's your worst like losses and like your average returns on spec mining?
Yeah, we've touched upon that, I think.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. Getting hacked.
Getting hacked.
Yeah, but I was kind of just
not getting to an exchange.
Hoping.
Yeah, I mean, or delisting or developer running off. I guess.
Okay, no. Like the thing that I was trying to focus on is like, I just wanted to say like I made 1,000 times my money on this shitcoin or that shitcoin. That's kind of what I was hoping to get out
Okay,
of
so
that.
just give you an example. Denarius, I've sold. My break even on Denarius is like 600 Satoshi.
Which
Wow.
is how many X's now?
And right now the price is around 30,000 Satoshi. All right,
Cool.
so that's just so 30,000 over 100. That's a 50x right now, right there. And that's been a spec mining play. After it came out, I mined it for a week or something. And that in on itself paid off the GPU rig.
Okay. Do
So
you
that's
have any super cool like shit coins
Um,
that you mine?
yeah, I mean, there's been so many over the years. I don't like talking about percentages, ROIs, but I tend to set myself a challenge of kind of ROI in the rig as soon as I get it. So that will basically be right. Okay, I want to mine a shit coin and I want to try and ROI the rig. That doesn't mean that I have to mine that coin for a day and then sell it the next day and pay myself within 3 days. All it means is just kind of sitting on these coins, being patient and saying, right, okay, I can extrapolate that, from experience, this coin that I'm mining, based on the hash power that I've got, how much of the network I am, how many coins I'm getting, what I think the market cap will extrapolate to. Based on all that information, I feel I can ROI this rig within a week or a month or 3 months. I don't hold a record, but I pretty much I don't want to say who does unless he wants to say it, but I ROI'd a rig within days mining. I think when I first got it, so the L3 when it first came out, I ROI'd that in a day. So pretty much, yeah, that's probably my best mining play. If you think of it like this, if you paid your machine for 1 day's mining, what else can you ask for, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of touching on the ROI thing, just with rigs in general. I don't even think about it from the coin standpoint. Actually, that plays into ROI with mine is secondhand markets and actually reselling through there. The one thing to keep in mind if you are playing eBay games, especially with ant miners or just ASICs in general, is that once, say, a new model comes out, and farms start unloading, those prices are going to tank. If you do own current models, you're going to want to beat those large farms to selling theirs. But on the other hand, it could be opportunities, for example, to swoop in and get the last generation. As far as the ROI from coins, I don't even like to think about it because you really never know what's going to happen. I guess probably one of my best, at less than an hour of mining, ROI'd my very first farm over several times.
Wow.
It was an edge case. I mean, something you couldn't expect, and that's kind of how this goes, I feel, with a lot of the highly speculative stuff you don't know what's going to happen down the line. In the case of this, it was a unique feature of the blockchain that was being exploited to insta-mine it, and I just happened to catch the windfall of it. And it's on the rental game, kind of same thing goes there. You never know. From the stance of dead networks, there's been scenarios where I mined fractions of a Satoshi break even on markets that weren't Satoshi markets, trading in low Satoshi range. But again, it's per Coinbase. You never know what's going to happen. You can't plan for it. That's kind of where the risk management side comes into play, I feel.
Yeah. I don't really think there's much else to say. If you guys wanted to say some final things, and we've been on for like an hour, 30 minutes, we'll hang
I
out.
guess we can chill our mining bags right now.
Yeah, why not?
Well, go ahead then.
Okay, so right now I'm mining for X11. It's monetary unit and influx. that's like been my go-to coins for months now, and I'm not looking to switch off anytime soon. For script, it's definitely Achilles right now. I've just been mining it since it came out and not looking to stop anytime soon as well. For Qubit, I've got Digibyte on it right now, and I think there's one more. Let me check. Yeah, I'm also mining Decred on the Baikal ASIC. So there's an underlying theme. It's got to have good fundamentals for me, and then I'll stick to it for weeks or months on end. That's my approach.
Okay.
Yeah, same here. I very, very, very much like weeks to months on play around the network sizing and the net hash rate. Grit's current play is Aurora Coin. Been with it months. The kind of key thing there being network size in relation to L3 plus as one of the big factors with it, as well as a few fundamental things. On the Blake G front, Sia coin, perhaps obvious reasons. 11 was Mare, one of the marijuana coins. Again, trying to size the hash rate that I'm working with to kind of the global net hash rate, because similar reasons like why you wouldn't want to throw, say, your ASIC at a giant network like. That's kind of the key factors on my long-term mining plays.
All right. Digi?
Yeah, so my GPU rigs, I can't even remember what mine. So what I'm finding with my GPU stuff right now is I can't compete with NiceHash. So what I have to do is find my niche, and that tends to be finding unique algorithms that are not on NiceHash right now. So I'm not going to tell you, but I'm sure if someone's clever enough to go through the list and then kind of write them down, and they see one that isn't on there, they can work out straight away what coins to mine and how to get in. So that's our edge on GPUs right now. Ambroid mentioned one before about new algorithms, and he mentioned Denarius as well. So that's basically a prime example. It's a brand new algorithm, not accessible at NiceHash or mining rig rentals. So if you're a GPU rig owner, this is the sort of thing you want to be looking for. So right now, I believe I'm mining a combination of Pulsar, which is a HMQ1725 algorithm, so very exotic. And I'm mining Northwards or North, which is a Zevon algorithm. So these are two algorithms you can't get on NiceHash. Can I hear an echo?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah,
it's okay. Right. So in terms of the two algos I'm mining on, you can't mint these on NiceHash. So I'm just going to sit on these for a couple of months now and be patient. Both of these coins should get added to exchanges soon, so I'm happy to wait. But that's my niche on GPU mining right now. For scripts mining, I'm mining a coin called Cypher. It's kind of a low-key coin. No one really knows about it right now, so you're getting a hidden gem given to you on this show. It's a very small network. It's a geocaching coin, which I really like, UK-based, which obviously kind of resonates with me, being from the UK. And then also, it just seems like it's very undercover for what it is. I mean, I think the market cap right now is something silly like 2 BTC or something like that, 3 BTC. So it's well worth kind of me sitting on this and just being patient. I like geocaching coins anyway. I've always been a big fan since Geocoin came out a couple of years back. So I like this, the concept being, I think they want to introduce businesses into their geocaching, so you can mine from terminals at businesses, and the businesses will offer you special discounts and deals that are not available elsewhere apart from the geocaching app. So I like it, decent team behind it. X11, I don't even know what we're mining on X11 right now. Brim was a coin we were mining recently, Indonesian-based coin. I believe Masternod's in the pipeline, but I've not really looked at it since. And yeah, that's about it really. Nothing else. Oh, yeah, sorry, I'm renting for IPBC as well. So just another mining tip if you guys are ever looking to set up GPUs. NVIDIA cards are the best for everything, and AMD cards are only good for crypto note and crypto night coins. So it's worth having a combination of both. Always have some AMD cards because it will give you an edge when these crypto note coins come out. I've not talked about it anywhere else before, but I'm very bullish on crypto note for this year. Everyone's focused on masternodes right now. I feel this is going to be a hype that dies down in time. Crypto note, the reason I'm so bullish on it, the underlying coin or the top coin on crypto note is Monero. And Monero, I personally believe, is going to be really, really big this year and next. I'm not going to go into the reasons why, but usually what happens as a result is any coins that come out on that parent algorithm, when it's got a really big coin that's pumping on top, you will find that there's a trickle down effect. So people will then be starting to look for crypto note coins, and developers will come to them and start making better projects on the algorithm as well. So just to touch on what I was saying, IPBC, probably the best proof of work coin I've ever seen in the last 5 years I've been here. The only reason I say that is because I've never seen a proof of work coin with a working product on launch. A good one at that, if you know what I mean. So obviously the developers have spent money out of their own pocket to get this platform up and running. And so yeah, I'm very, very bullish on this coin, currently renting to mine it. And yeah, we shall see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, same here, man. That coin is really impressive, like I said. One final question. Someone asks, what's your view on OTC buys for new coins?
Always use escrow. There's so many scammers out there right now. You will find in Discords, people will ping you, DM you. You don't know who this person is, right? If it's a username with a funny avatar, you're going to give this guy X amount of BTC. So just be very careful dealing in these new coins. A lot of scammers making good money right now. I just want people to be careful and kind of, not part with their BTC. So in terms of buying coins, work out the break even, have an idea of that, and then kind of, the guy's not going to sell it to you for what it cost him, right? You've obviously got to give him some incentive. So maybe just kind of add some money on top of that and see if he bites. There's a set formula for doing this, but I don't really want to give away all our secrets just at once in case we do another show. So
just try and get your rental going, see how many coins you're getting.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a big break-even game in my opinion. It's essentially that may factor into the kind of incentive for going OTC instead of mining, how fast you're trying to get it. But yeah, it's just going to be a big break-even game. Can you get it in the time frame you want, the quantities you want? Get rentals or mining with your own hardware, then OTC, or buying off market.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess there's no harm in having a combination of the two, really. You're scaling in, you're averaging your price in that way, and you're kind of getting something. So if you're mining, you're getting something. If you're buying, you're getting something. Kind of getting the best of both worlds.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you guys sell OTC sometimes?
Never. Oh, yeah, sometimes I might do if it's a piece of shit. But I would like to think I've got the patience for it to wait to come on the exchange.
All right. I mean, yeah, I guess that's it. It was a long episode. Thanks for coming. Shout outs to Bitcoin Bella for being a huge supporter. I'm gonna slide into your DMs right now. Yeah.
You two older guys, man.
Fam, you don't even know how old I am. Shut up.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time with us, guys.
Yeah,
Enjoyed
thanks a
having
lot.
Trollbox there. It was fun.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Yeah, cool.